Prince Meyson. Today is a lighting breakdown of a photo shoot I did with the beautiful Angela. You guys can check her Instagram out. I'll put a link to her page in the description below. And I did this at Thai Studio. Now, this lighting breakdown is pretty simple and straightforward. For the most part, we use 2 lights for the first look and then 3 lights for the second part of this photo shoot. If you want to buy any of the equipment that I use in this video, definitely check out the affiliate links that I have in the description below. It helps move this channel forward. I definitely make a little, something from that. And also check out my retouching pack, my lots, and some freebies that I have in my digital store. Links will be in the description below. So without further ado, let's get straight into the lighting breakdown. So today's lighting breakdown is pretty straightforward and very easy to follow. Now, for a start, our first look I shot with 2 lights. So this is a 2 light setup, and like I said, very easy to follow. Our main light, which is our key light right here, is lighting our subject. As you can see, it is just pointing down at our subject's face. Now obviously it's going to light a little bit more than our subject's face, but for the most part our light is there to light our subject's face. Another thing you can see here is that light's not pointing at the background, it's pointing away from the background and into our subject's face. So one good thing about this is that it's a very good way to create like a Rembrandt look where you have, these shadows. Let me just point that out. So where you have this triangle right here. So you have a triangle right here. It's a very good way to create like a Rembrandt look, right? So you guys can see we have a little bit of that going on here. But the reason why you can't see it a lot is because we have another light right here, which is our other light. This light is meant to illuminate our whole subject, so from top to bottom. So what this light is doing is just getting our subject illuminated from all the way up here all the way down to her feet, right? And this light right here just pointing directly at our subject. It's also not pointing at the background because we want the background to be dark, so it's kind of like tilted away from the background, and what we're just doing is lighting our subjects with the edge of the light. Now the good thing about lighting your subject with the edge of the light is that light's really nice and soft. So you guys can see from this image right here, you can see how the light in the middle is very, very bright, and then it kind of like just tapers off, and just becomes I would say a little less intensive when you hit the edges. And this is called feathering your light. So basically we're using feathered light. So we have 2 feathered lights that we're using to light our subject. Both of them were kind of like lighting our subject with the edge of our lights. Now our key light right here is the AD600 Pro. So we have the AD600 Pro right here, and our fill light, so the light that is filling our subject from top to bottom, is the GVM 500. It's a 500 watt continuous light. So we're shooting with both the continuous light and the strobe. We're shooting at 1.4 85 mm 1/100th of a second. That's what our shutter speed is, and our ISO is 100. So basically that's what our ISO is, and that's all for our first look. Really, another thing you should put at the back of your mind is to get this nice shallow depth of field. It's not just about shooting at 1.4. You have to keep your subject away from the background. So our subject is, I'll probably say, a good 4 feet away from the background. So this is one other picture that was shot. You guys can see it looks nice. I know there might seem like a huge difference in color between our final image and what this looks like right here. So you guys can tell I shot this with like a phone camera, so it's kind of like balancing out with the like the whole environment itself, not just the background and our subject. So the background looks a little cooler, but if you're shooting your subject, and you're shooting with these lights, this particular color tends to come out just a little warmer, and it looks really nice. So this canvas backdrop was painted by Liberty Studio, the owner of Thai Studio where I shoot. So if you are going to shoot a backdrop, try and get something similar to this. Then also get your subject to wear something that kind of like fits with the whole aesthetic, right? Okay, great. So that is our first light setup. This is kind of like a continuation of our first light setup because this is just the same setup, but the difference was because she was sitting down on the floor, I had to bring this down here so that it could light my subject's face. And that's one thing you have to pay attention to. Sometimes I see some people shoot at the studio where, your subject is sitting down, then standing up, and the light just stays at the same place. If you're trying to maintain a consistent look, so I'm just going to go to capture one right here and show you guys what the image of her sitting on the floor looks like. As you guys can see right here, it is kind of like a consistent look with the one where she was just sitting on the chair, right? Pretty consistent. So one thing you need to do is move your lights, and put your lights in the same place so everything looks nice and consistent, right? Okay, great. So our next look kind of follows the same setup as the first one. The difference is that I took away let me show you guys what the final image looks like. This is what the image looks like, right? So the major difference is that I took away the softbox that was our key light lighting our subject face, and I changed it to this optical snoot. So this optical snoot is what's lighting our subject right now. And I'm just using the gobo in that you can adjust to get different shapes, and I just made like a shape that is pointing at our subject's face. Now the whole idea is that it kind of adds depth to the image, because typically if you just light our subject with just the big round umbrella, this is a 6-foot umbrella, by the way. If you just light a subject with that, our subject just seems flat. It's just and I don't like it. I personally like to add some type of depth. So we have this lighting our subject from top to bottom, because if you just use the snoot, you are going to just get like every other thing apart from that line is just going to be pitch black, and we don't want that. We want to still be able to see our background and everything. So we have our key light lighting everything, not a key light, basically, like our fill light lighting everything from our background to our subject. And then we have this gobo that this optical snoot that is pointing down at our subject's face, and it just gives you this nice look that is right here. Now I'm going to move to a second image, which is quite similar to this, but the difference was that the gobo I used in here was the round one. Now the camera settings remained practically the same across the both looks, but the major difference was this time I was shooting with two constant lights. The first time, remember, I was constant light and strobe. Right now I'm shooting with the GVM 650 watt light, and also the Zhiyun 500 watt light. I really like the Zhiyun 500 watt. I love the 650 watt. Don't get it twisted. Both of them are great lights, but the major difference is that the 650 has this control panel, which is good if you're doing video, but if you're just doing photography, the 500 doesn't come with that. It's just a cable, very simple and easy to use, and easy to carry around. So basically, this is another representation of what the light was. As you guys can see, this is kind of pointing out. It might seem like why did I draw a circle there? It might seem like it's lighting our subject, but it's pointing out, and we're just lighting our subject with the edge of the light, right? And we don't want the light to spill to the background. We still want to have like a nice dark background, that just to add depth. It's going to be illuminated to a certain degree, right? But it's not as bright as our subject, right? And then we have this right here, which is just lighting our subject all the way, just down to our subject's face here. Hope you guys understand the lighting diagrams, because I'm just drawing over the whole stuff. But both of them were set to the maximum power, yeah, that's it. So now let's move to the next look, because I'm going to run through this one. This one was quite different. Like I had two different images with this one. So that's image number one, and this image number two. So we have image number one. This is like a continuation of that image, and then we have image number two. So let's go to number one. The major difference here is that I did not use the 8300 that is right here. So for this one, we're just going to ignore that the 8300 is here. And what we're going to do is just talk about the two lights at the back. So I had two AD600s at the back here, and all they were just doing inside this big 6-foot umbrellas. Both of them with white interior, by the way, just in case you want to ask. They were just pointing at the background and blasting light at the background. I think this one, my f-stop aperture basically, was at f7.1. And I had these two black V-flats there to stop light from the umbrellas from spilling and hitting my subject. Although, as you guys can see, we have some, rim light hitting our subject, but it's from the light that is hitting the background. So it's nice and soft, it's going to hit the background, then come back and then light our subject from the background, right? So that's nice. I didn't have any feel, by anything bouncing light back at a subject's face. I think I did increase my shadows just a little bit in post, but I did it that way because, I just wanted, it's a white studio, so light still bounces around regardless of if I have these two V flats there. So it's going to kind of like just lift the shadows a little bit. And I really like this look. It's such an amazing look to use to shoot different things. You can use it for portraits, you can use it for couples, but it's very simple to, and easy to, like I said, just blast light against your white background. It's going to bounce back at your subject. We're shooting this with an 85mm lens too, 85mm lens too. So my handwriting is terrible. My bad. So for the other look, what I did was I turned on my AD600 Pro. This one I think was at 1/4. That's what the power was. But basically, we had this thing pointing directly at our subject's face. And I was using the round gobo, so the gobo that is just round. And what that is doing is it's just illuminating this part of our subject's face. Not just face, I mean, like, down to her body. While every other place is a little bit dark. And then we have our background blown out. And I think it's a pretty nice look and something that you should try out too. But yeah, that's basically it. That was our setup. All through I shot with my Rokinon 85mm lens and my Canon R5. And it's a light setup that I want you guys to try out too, and probably tag me on Instagram when you try these light setups out and let me know how how it goes, how you like it. So we have these images. So we have these images from the first look, which was this setup. And then if you jump to this particular image, we have the second, this setup, which is the second one, right? And this is an angle for the second one. And then we have this one, which is for this image without the 8600 and the projector kit there. And then this one with the 8600 and projector kit. So it's, you can just mess around with your lights from one to another look, one look to another look, and at the end of the day, you get, amazing images. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. Subscribe, share, and check out my pro retouching pack, my retouching actions, my LUTs, skin tone LUTs, my freebies. Everything's in my digital store, and I'll link it in the description below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have an amazing one. Peace out, guys.